Hello, my name is Ofehe from Nigerianpoint. I'm standing here with Comrade Sonny Ofehe. He's a human rights activist, the most talked about Nigerian right now. We are aware of the huge fight he took upon when he took share to the Hague for environmental pollution in the Niger Delta. It's nice to be with you.
Yes,
Yeah.
it's a pleasure to be here.
Yeah, I want to ask you, what motivated you take up such a huge challenge against a multinational company like Shell?
First and foremost, I come from the Niger Delta. I grew up in a town called Ughelli in the Niger Delta area. We've seen Shell's presence in the Niger Delta. We've seen a lot of environmental pollutions in the area, but because we've not really had the opportunity to see a comparison to what we see in the Niger Delta, we thought, it was normal to have what we have in the Niger Delta. But when I came to the Netherlands and I realized that Netherlands was actually the headquarters of Shell, and I had the opportunity to visit some of those areas where Shell is actually operating, then I began to see double standard in the operation, and I decided that it was time to take up the challenge of letting the people in Europe and the rest of the world know actually what my people in the Niger Delta are suffering from. Yes.
And what were the challenges that you did?
I coming from those areas where we've seen a lot of gas flare, for instance, and because of the lack of electricity, we always believed that gas flare was a blessing. Was a blessing to the Niger Delta. So, but at the time, I later realized that gas flare was actually one of the reasons why some of our mothers were having miscarriages, some of our people were having bronchitis, they were having damages to their lungs as a result of the carbon content that were coming out of those gas flare. So I decided that it was time for us to challenge the oil multinational companies, just to let them know that, the situation in the Niger Delta was more of human than a blessing that we all thought about.
Okay. It is what he has done is something that most we Nigerians should emulate. There are other fights, other issues facing Nigeria today that the world doesn't know about. If there's anything any of us can do or anybody can do, to bring it to the world to know about, please take it up. You've done very well, sir.
Thank you.
I would like to ask you, the election is just around the corner.
Yeah.
I know you are not partisan, we know that. I would like to ask you, how would you assess the Nigerian political process so far?
First of all, I will admit that the Nigerian democracy is very much at the nascent level, which means it's very much young. But however, I still believe that Nigeria has the capacity to give to its people what we see in the Western world. But, it's not a paucity of policies that is affecting us, but it is the political will that most of our leaders are lacking.
Okay.
And so as a couple of days from now, as you know, Nigerians will be going to the poll to elect their new presidential president. So, but I am of the opinion that when I look at both candidates who are actually running, the both candidates who are standing out, I still don't see deliverance coming from any of them.
Okay.
The reason being that I believe that at this point in the Nigerian democracy and in Nigerian history, we're still very much lacking in the people that I think have the capacity to deliver Nigeria to the promised land. But however, it's like what my principal in those days in secondary school would say, is a country of the blind where there is only one-eyed man ruling. So in a situation where we have two candidates running, there's a tendency that we must select one
of them.
And so I will not want to stand here to tell you that this is the best candidate that should be selected by Nigerians, but I will tell you that Nigerians who have the PVC to go to the poll and vote and elect their new presidential leader, what they should look at is that they should not sell their voting right for pot of porridge, but rather should look at the both candidates and see in both of them who have the capacity to actually deliver what they think is good for the country in the next 4 years. So, but as a Nigerian who believe in the unity of Nigeria, who believe in a united Nigeria, I want to pray for the best to happen. I want to pray that in all that happens on the 14th of February, Nigerians should be law-abiding and respect the rule of law and make sure that there is peace in the electoral process that will eventually bring the next president into being. Whoever wins the election will definitely be my choice to support. Okay. But at the end, we all pray that we should have the opportunity to get a leader who will get there without crisis.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you for having me.
Comrade Ofehe.
Thank you.